Hello guys, welcome back again in my channel, and today's video is about geometry. And in geometry also, this series is about geometry, and the first chapter that we are going to discuss in this particular video is going to be about lines, angles, and supplementary angle, complementary angle, types of angle, acute, right angle, and so many stuff, and a bit few calculations. So yeah, let's get started. So okay, uh, how angle is made, we need to understand that angles are made by combination of two lines. For example, what I mean to say is, if I'm going to make an angle, it's going to look something like this. Suppose this is one line A, B. If I connect another line here and seeing this line as C, we make an angle. This is called a angle. Okay. So now, if I have to name this angle, first of all, I have to give this angle sign. This is the sign of angle, and in middle, I'm going to write what's on this point, the point connecting the two lines, and on both side, I can write like A, C. So this angle is angle ABC, or we can also name it as, we can keep B in the middle and CA. It can be called ABC or CBA. It's the same thing. But we need to make sure that this B is always at the center. We can't say that this line is BAC, something like that. It's not like that. This angle is not BAC. So either it is ABC or CAB. Now, let me give you a few examples. Let's look at these examples over here. Although these are blurred, let me clarify you. In question number one, its angle, we have y at the center, and on one side we have x, and on other side we have z. So that is angle xyz. In example number two, we have q in the middle. One side we have okay, this looks very blurred. Let me see if I can make it more clearer. Mm, okay, if you can look at here, yeah. So it is PQR. So this can be written as angle P, Q, and R. Okay, so this is how we write an angle. Let me give you one more example. If I'm making an angle here, and it's something like this. If I have S, T, U, then the first thing I'm going to do is write the middle term first, that is T, and on both side I'm going to write one side S and on the side U. I can also write this angle as one side U, another side AS. Both works. Now, after knowing this, how we already know how we name our angle. After naming these angles, we need to understand the types of angle. To understand types of angle, we need to see, okay, uh, let's talk about first acute angle. Angle between 0 to 90 is actually the acute angles. The angles between 0 to 90 is called acute angle. So it ranges from 0 to actually 89. That they are all acute angles. They look something like this. Whereas a right angle is an angle that is exactly 90 degree and represented something like this, and it's called 90 degree. That's called right angle. When the angle is greater than the 90 degree, when the angle is greater than the 90 degree but smaller than 180 degree, okay, greater than 90 degree and smaller than 180 degree, that is still 179 degree, we have obtuse angle. They are called obtuse angle. And when it's a straight line, so it's already 180 degree. When it is greater than 180 degree and less than 360, it is called reflex angle. Greater than 180. Now guys, you need to understand this, that for an angle to be a reflex angle, it needs to have something like this. You can't say that this is the reflex angle. Okay, you can't say that that's the reflex angle. It needs to be the outer face. Okay, So now you might say that, okay, in this obtuse angle as well, in this obtuse angle, if you take side from this side, it is the reflex angle. So you need to be mindful in which side we are given this arc. So the arc will make you clear what type of angle it is. And when it is a complete turn, like something like this, when the it gets started from here and it goes around and round and round, something like this, is called a complete turn angle. Okay, all full rotation. Now let's take example of all these type of angles. When it comes to acute angle, you can say 30 degree, 15 degree, 30 degree, 15 degree, or you can say 25 degree. These are some of the examples of acute angle. For right angle, it's always just and just 90 degree. 90 degree is the example of, or it's the only right angle. For obtuse angle, you can have obviously 179 degree, 110 degree. You can also have 95 degree as obtuse angle, because obviously it is greater than 90 and smaller than 180. For straight line, it's always going to be 180 degree is the straight line. For reflex angle, you can have 270 degree, 190 degree, and so on and so stuff. These all below 360 is reflex angle. When we talk about complete turn, it's just going to be 360 degree, nothing more, nothing less. Now, let's talk about two different types of angles, that is complementary angles and supplementary angles. Let's talk about complementary angles first. The angle when they are sum gives 90 degree. For example, in this case, the sum of these two angles, let's name this angle first. Let's take it as A, let's take it as O, let's take it as B, and let's take it as C. So this one, this arc angle name. So what we have in the middle, we have O in the middle, A on one side, and B on the other side. So it's angle AOB, or you can say it as angle BOA. And on this side we have angle, we have O in the middle, B on one side, and C on the other side. So you can say it as angle BOC or COB. It makes the same sense. Now, when we add this angle AOB and angle BOC, it gives 90 degree. Such type of angles are called complementary angle. Complementary angle. Now, let's say that find the complementary angle or the complement of 30 degree. For example, if somebody asks you find the complement of 30 degree. So let's take the complement of 30 degree is x. So you can say that 30 degree plus x is actually 90 degree according to the question. Now, from the laws of algebra, the 30 degree will go on the other side and go as subtraction, and because we have the plus sign here on this side, and when it go to other side it's minus, so it's going to be 90 minus 30 is 60 degree. Therefore, the complementary angle for 30 degree is 60 degree. So when two angles sums to make 90 degree, they are called complementary angle. Now, talking about supplementary angles. Now, let me erase all this first. Let me erase all of these. Yeah. Talking about supplementary angles are the angles whose sum is 180 degree. In complementary, the sum was 90 degree. In this case, the sum is 180 degree. Okay, so in this case also, let's name the angle first. It will help us in understanding. Let's say PQR. So we have two angles here, POQ. This is angle, we have O in the middle, PQ, and we have ROP. These two angles here. So these two are supplementary angles. Now, you might say, what if we add one another line to this? Okay, let's try adding one another line to this. Okay, let's say this one. Okay, this is this one and this is S. So can there be three angles who are supplementary? Yes, there can be three angles who are supplementary. Okay, now what you can do here is, okay, let me, okay, now let's name this. So this middle angle would be SOP and this one would be ROP. Okay, ROS, SOP, POQ, something like that. Okay, now you might get questions. For example, this one is 30 degree and this one is, let's say, 80 degree. What is the value of this one if you are asked? Okay, so you can say that this one, suppose this one as A, and you can write that A plus 80 degree plus 30 degree equals to 180 degree, and then rest you can follow the rules of algebra and find the value of A. Comment in the comment box what is the value of A. The person giving the right answer, I'll give a love react to you. Now let's move forward. Yes, let's try to solve these questions. I think by now everyone are clear how to solve this. Let's take x. Okay, you can already find this. What would be the value of x? Yes, the value of x would be 50 degree, because you subtract 40 from 90, you get 50 degree. What will be the value of x in this case? 180 minus 150 is 30 degree. Correct. Now I have kept few questions out here that we can actually solve and find the solution. You can try to find this solution at your home as well. I'll solve two of the questions for you guys. Now I will be solving, let's try to solve question this one. Okay, question number 11. Okay, in question number 11 we have A plus 74 degree is, sorry, I need to erase that, just a mistake that I did. Yeah, A plus 74 degree is 90 degree. Why? Because being complementary angle, these are complementary angle, so you can directly do 90 degree minus 74 degree, find the value of A, and that's going to be 16 degree, as easy as it can get. Okay, so you can practice all these questions, find out the value of these angles. So let's revise what did we learn in today's video. First thing first, we learn about naming an angle, in which we need to make sure the middle point needs to be in middle and the other two points can be on either sides. Then we learn about the types of angle: acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight line, reflex angle, complete turn, and so on. After that, we learn about complementary angles and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are the angles whose sum is 90 degree, whereas supplementary angles are the angles whose sum is 180 degree. Then we solve few questions, and there you go, you have a task that you can practice at home. So yeah, that's it for the day. In my next video, I'll be talking about angles in different shapes, such as triangles, quadrilaterals, parallelogram, and stuff. Till then, take care, have a great day. Bye bye.